Hello everyone, it's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here for another episode of Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. This is episode 51. Yeah, for real. The last one, oh my god, I was so sick. And I have to come clean. I wasn't ill with a virus, a bacterial infection, or anything else like that. I was ill because I went over to my friend's house across the street, had a little bit too much to drink. Let's put it this way. I drink vodka, and I don't drink a lot. I don't like to drink a lot, but she made my drinks, and they were pretty much a tall glass of vodka with a splash of Dr. Pepper in it. I think I woke up on my lawn after falling down, and it was like 15, maybe 20 minutes I lied there. Finally, I looked up and said, "Ooh, look how pretty the stars are. Why the hell am I outside?" And that's where things started to go wrong. And the next day, I just slept most of the next day. My friend is an enabler in a different way than my organization here in the Star Citizen universe. But she's my best buddy, one of my best friends. I live with my best friend in the whole world. But I can say that I will make better choices in the future, like bringing my own drinks over to her house instead of letting her make them for me. So let me go on and be more responsible today and deliver this episode. It's Halloween, and the closest I'm coming to wearing a costume is a red shirt. So if I disappear, can't be found, get destroyed or vaporized in this episode, you know what happened. And of course, that's it. Paying homage to Star Trek. And if you don't know about red shirts, you need to look that up. Of course, it needs to have a black collar and there's some other things that have to be on there. So let's talk about the first big thing. Thank you all so very much for getting me to 1,500 subscribers. It was a lot quicker this time too. It took me almost a year to get to 1,000, announcing it at reaching that goal at a table in a bar with Ben and David Haddock and a whole bunch of backers and fans. That was a pretty big day for me because it was the first time I actually got to go out and meet the community that watches this show, but also the community of backers that so passionately back this game that we all love. But it's 4 days less than 2 months later, we reached 1,500. That's amazing. You guys that are helping me improve the show, thank you so very much. And what do I mean by improve the show? I read all the comments, not just the good ones that, oh wow, that's great content, I love that. But the ones that say, you know what, you shouldn't wear that color. You know what, you read too fast. Maybe you should work off of notes. You know, maybe you should change the background a little bit because it's a little bit blurring out your image. Those things have helped me improve the show. And wait until you see my new background that Pappy Boyington is making. Hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Pappy, but you promised me some big changes to what's over here. Can't wait to see them. The other piece of this is that we have a contest every time we reach a big mark, right? So 1,500, we reach the Freelancer MIS. And let's talk about who the winner is. And the winner, well, can't do that. Like I said, that's got to be a separate show. I want Ben to be part of that giveaway since he gave it to me to give away to one of my viewers. But I can't expect Ben to keep giving those ships. And that's why I have joined Patreon. And if you want to help support the show, you can become one of my patrons at patreon.com. The money I gain from that site, I use to improve the show. One of the things that you know I have to do is I have to noise-proof this room so I don't get this echo. It's one of the things I'm working towards. But my giveaways are also taken out of the money that I raise on patreon.com/Batgirl. And before we go on and talk about the next contest, I'm going to talk about a contest that I want to have right now for my patrons. And this might help some of you decide if you want to be one of my supporters. So I reached down to my handy dandy little desk over here. I have something that Sandy sent me. This over here is a brochure of the 890 jump. And after my talk with her, when I did my interview with her, she always sends me something cool to say thank you for the interview. And I think that they're wonderful. The last time it was I paid for it. So it was the mouse pad, but she had everybody sign it, and Chris had a handwritten letter on it, and she sent me some patches to go with it too, which were just extras. This time, she sent me not one, but two of the brochures. Sorry about keeping to go that way. So what I want to do with this right now is I want to offer this up to my patrons. If you're a patron that has donated anything, I am going to put this up in a random drawing next week. If any of you want to become patrons, you can go out there. It's very simple. All you do is follow the instructions on screen, and then you have choices. You can back the show as $1 per show, which is the minimum that it says you could back it at. But you could also limit it to a monthly fee. You could say, I only want to back for $1 a month or $2 a month by setting your money in there and saying, don't do it any more than 1 or 2 times a month. That's up to you. But I do have some wonderful backers that are backing me at the $10 level, the $5 level, the $2.50 level, and the $1 level. Thank you all very much. I hope one of you is going to be very happy to receive one of these brochures with all of the autographs from everybody that's over there in Santa Monica. Okay, so that leads us to this. Let's talk about the next contest. I'm going to call it the Drive to 2K Subscriber Contest. It's a long title, right? So let's talk about the rules, and I'll talk about how you get that to me. The rules are very simple. I have to reduce how many entries I have for different people because not everybody has access to all 3 other social networks because of where they live in the world, because A, they might not want to have those 3 social networks that I've chosen, or B, maybe they just don't want that social networking presence. So I'm going to give you a buy on this. I'm going to give you a better way to do this. 1 entry per episode for now on. Share it on any social network that you want, including Reddit. Some of you asked if you could do it on Pinterest or Tumblr, whatever it is. Take a screenshot of that and send it to me. There'll be a way to get 2 extra entries for the contest, and that way is going to be to complete a confession of a Star Citizen addict. If you don't know what that is, go back to some of my original shows. I read them at the end of every show. I want to get some more of those up there because there's a lot of new people that haven't seen that yet. I think that is a really, really, really good way of telling your story and why you love the game so much and why you're backing it so early before it's even out of alpha. That's it. It's very simple. Share it on some kind of social network. You get 1 entry per week. Okay? That's fine. Or 1 entry per show. And send that screenshot to theaddictedgamer@gmail.com. And this time, all you got to do is put drive to, and that's the word to, 2K contest. And then in the body of the letter, make sure somewhere is the episode number. You could copy and paste the episode from the title in YouTube, or you could use my acronyms. It's one or the other. It's going to help me out immensely when I'm trying to put them into my spreadsheet and track them. I think this is an easier way to do the contest, and it gives everybody an equal shot at getting the extra entries. And let me tell you, the extra entries do help. Look at B. Hornifer last contest, who actually had 3 entries for every single one of the shows. So I want to make it more fair to everybody. 1 entry per show. Share it any way that you want. Take a picture of that share, put it into the email, send it to me, theaddictedgamer@gmail.com. Then make sure that you, of course, have the Drive to 2K contest in the subject field. Also, in the body, you got to have some representation of the episode that you're sharing. Thank you. That's good. Now we're going to move on. All right, so we talked about the giveaway I'm having for my patrons. We talked about the Freelancer MIS contest and the next. Now let's talk about the news. There's a lot of stuff that went on in my time since my last show. And the biggest pieces over here I'm going to talk about are going to be the first. We're going to go for the easy one. It's going to be the letter from the chairman. Okay? We broke another goal, $59 million, and that, of course, begins, has them beginning work on the Anvil Aerospace Crucible. And this is the flying toolbox that is our repair ship and can actually build scaffoldings and use bots to repair much larger ships in conjunction with other crucibles like the Bengal carrier. So many people have been saying bagel carrier. I swear I almost said bagel carrier. But those size ships. So this is one of the ships that we've asked for in the poll. I think this is a good one. However, the next one I really can't wait for. And that means that we are now going for the $60 million stretch goal, which, oh my God, that's a lot of money, right? We're going to be looking at the Aegis Dynamics Bulldog. Aegis Dynamics, right? We keep seeing these ships around. Let's talk about Aegis Dynamics for a second. We have the Gladys, which very well could be around tomorrow in your hangar if you bought one. Not sure, but it seems to be the rumor that's going around general chat. So you got the Gladius, you got the Avenger, you've got the Redeemer, right? You've got the Retaliator. You've got the, what was the one that we just had? The Aegis Dynamics Reclaimer. And now you have the Bulldog. A lot of Aegis Dynamics ships all of a sudden, right? Each one tailored for a different role. And this one specifically is for a deep space fighter that's not working off of a carrier. It has a better jump drive, improved fuel usage, has 2 crew, and a lot of people are saying this looks a lot like a B-25 or, for me, the P-61 Black Widow. This is going to be a bear of a ship. They talk about it taking damage like an A-10, having parts of its fuselage open to space, losing tails and wings, and still limping home. And that's the kind of fighter I want. I can't wait to see this. This is going to be a hot one. So go out, get out there and start purchasing. Whoa, wait. I don't have to tell you anything. When we get to PAX Australia, I think that you're just going to do it. So we had those 2 things going on. Nothing special given to us. We still have to vote. And I think the vote is for the search and rescue ship, the boarding ship, a passenger liner, transport, which sounds boring, but some people want to do that. And there was a 3rd ship that, 4th ship that really wasn't gaining much traction. I really want the search and rescue ship, but I guess we just got the Cutlass red, but I'd like to have a more dedicated ship for that role because I think it's going to be important in this game, especially for people like myself that are going to be taking part in Operation Pitchfork. We're going to need somebody to pick everyone up, right? And search for lost souls, for bodies floating in space, escape pods. And this is going to be a part, it's going to be a mechanic in the game. So I think it's very important. But I'm happy with the boarding ship. I'd be happy with the passenger liner or transport, but come on, I just showed you the Origin 890 jump. That to me, well, that's not a passenger liner. That's more of a personal yacht. All right, from there, we're going to move on to the ship pipeline. This was a really long article, and it was written by Travis Day, and it talked about now that the ship pipeline has been moved out of Austin, Texas, and into the hands of Travis, who works closely with Chris over there in Santa Monica. It tells us a little bit about how these things are going to get done. When you read the jump points, which one will be out later today, they talk a lot about how Chris interacts with the team. Having Travis right there and the team that's building these ships right there, or their team commanders, team leads right there in Santa Monica, is going to make this process go a lot quicker. Unless the ship, of course, is outsourced to someplace like Behavior or one of the other outsourced groups. But this does mean that when we do vote on a ship like the Anvil Aerospace Crucible, that the ship is going to get built a lot faster. The other piece that they talked about was the variant system. And of course, the 325A is a perfect example of it being an alpha. I mean, that broke. And they're going to fix that in 13.2. But the premise behind it is very interesting. They take all the variants and they build all the code together into an XML folder, right? An XML wrapper. So all the variants are in there. So when they want to change something like tailplane angle, it's actually one ship and pass to all the ships at the same time. The old way meant that they had to make the change on every single ship individually, which would be much longer. Now, the introduction of this was broken, but again, we're in alpha. Well, actually, we're pre-alpha, right? because the game's not done. So I think alpha is the game's done, things aren't working, and beta is things are working kind of sort of, let's find more bugs, and then release is there's minor bugs, but we want to release the game, at least if you're Microsoft, I guess. But I think that the variant system is going to work. I'm very disappointed in my 325A at this point, but I'm very excited that they're already at work, hard at work on it, and then it should be out in the patch that comes out either this weekend or soon after this weekend's PAX Australia demo. All right, so I could go into the pipeline a lot more than I did. There's a lot of information in there. And personally, I think that I would rather you guys go out there and read it, or I could do a separate episode if you want me to. If you want a separate episode of me explaining the pipeline and possibly talking to Travis or Ben about it, just comment below. The next piece up is going to be the FPS team, and that's a definite go out and read. There was so much information in so many different places about this. There was Twitter, Reddit, and the Ask a Dev forum, and I could pull out three big things for me, the three most important things for me. There's a lot more. The first is the weapons, how they're going to be unique, and you're going to have shotguns and rifles and sniper rifles and pistols and all different types of weapons, including, I think, one of them said that you got to watch the way that you fire a gun in 0G. So these are things that they're talking about. So the weapons themselves and how they work was interesting. Second piece was the cover system. So there is a cover system in this. It's going to be very unique. I love the way that AI is being implemented in here. I think it's by Moon Collider. I'm not sure if those are the people doing the same thing here, but that's very intriguing to me. And of course, the last thing was the damage system to people, having legs broken and shattered and arms and different parts of your body broken and hurt. That's all three things that intrigue me about this part. I'm not a big FPS person, though I did play through all the Call of Duties up to the point that they started to suck, okay? I know that some of you love that type of game where you just run out, shoot each other, and go back. I like the rich storylines of them, and I really was interested in seeing where Soap McTavish was going to go. And, I played through Call of Duty 4. I think that's what it was called, Modern Warfare. And just, after a certain point, it's kind of like they did the playthrough as a second thought. So I'm not a big FPS person, though I want to be. All right, and I'm hoping that this gets me back into it. Lore Builder 19 and 20 came out since my last episode. And 19, they closed out, I think it was weapons, and they started talking about religion. And that gets closed out in this one. They're having a poll out there. Read about it here. Go there. The next piece of it, they really need our help in starting to think about gravity and artificial gravity. What system, what generators, how does it work, what makes it not work, when it does work, what are the different things that are happening? Does it work throughout the whole ship the same way or not? These are all things that we need to figure out together. I love that they're coming to us because after listening to Reverse the Verse yesterday and finding out that somebody sent formulas for light speed and how he's cracked the equation to the guys over in London, in Manchester, I would have to say that we have some of the brightest, smartest, most passionate and engaged backers, community that I've ever seen. So I think that when they put things out there like this, it's important that we jump right on and start moving forward with it. We have PAX Australia coming tomorrow, probably about 18 hours from now. And now from me recording this, not now from you watching this. Hopefully you watch this before then, because these are my predictions. So it's not weird. They're going to have a working FPS demo, and they're going to not release FPS to us until next year. I don't think we're going to have an FPS module to play for about 3 to 4 months. I think what they're going to show us is going to be very early, but it's going to be impressive enough for us to go, wow, and start drooling for it and longing for it, okay? So I don't think we're going to see it right away. There'll be a ship sale later today for the Herald. Of course, I talked about the Herald in the last show. I think that was the Not 51 show. The Herald has a, oh no, that was my State of the Game 7. The Herald has a very specific job. It's an information runner. The pre-screenshots of it so far make it one of the ugliest ships I've ever seen, which actually makes it pretty good looking to me. If you buy it now, it's going to be $85 and you are going to get LTI on it. So this is something you want to think about. Do you want to buy it now and get LTI on it? I don't know right now because I don't know if I'm going to be into that mechanic. When I first heard about this, I thought it would be the perfect news ship. But honestly now, I think the 890 Jump would be the perfect new ship for me to move it from one place to another. And that might be a ship that I am going to be sorry I did not sell everything and buy it. But I got the brochure at least, and I could look at it and cry over it. Hopefully not on the magic marker and make that run. I'm not against this ship though. I think it's important that each one of the mechanics and everything that is actually happening in the universe and that Chris and his team are building needs to have a specific ship. So when I question the ship pipeline and prices and stuff like that, please understand it's just me bringing those questions up. It's not me saying, oh, the game's not going to go anywhere, oh, it's broken or whatever. It's just trying to engage you all in some kind of commentary, some kind of conversation to see how you feel about it. I'm actually very, very, very excited and pretty happy and not disappointed at all anymore in the progress that they're making with this game, which is much more vast than the game I've been playing lately, Elite Dangerous, which right now the game's not more vast than that, but it will be in the end. All right, we have 2 ships going on sale. All right, so one of them is a concept ship that was offered for sale before that some of us purchased, like me, and will be offered again for 10 days with LTI. If you want it, jump on it. And let's put it this way. I mentioned both of the ships that are on sale tomorrow in this show. Okay? So if you go back and start listening to them, both ships that are on sale tomorrow, I have already mentioned. It's not the Mustang. It's not the Retaliator. It's not the Avenger. Okay? Those 3 ships are still in the pipeline getting work done on them. Now, we already have the Avenger. It should be flight ready within the next few weeks to a month. We already had the Retaliator for sale. It should be hangar ready within the next few weeks to 6 weeks. And then we have a couple of others like the Reclaimer, which we won't see for quite some time, probably about 3 months. So we'll talk about the next patch. The next patch is going to bring in much better flight control from the gamepads and the joystick and throttle. So HOTAS is going to be improved. They're saying that they're kind of excited about it because Chris is a big HOTAS, well, joystick and gamepad person. He doesn't like to use a mouse and keyboard. So if it's past muster with him, I'm pretty excited to get it because I cuss at my joystick all the time in game because it is so jerky and twitchy no matter what I've done with my curves, changing out springs on it. So I'm hoping that that's going to be fine. I think customization of the joysticks and other pieces are going to be tailored a little bit better. There's going to be some UI changes. There's going to be a lot of changes in the game to the balancing of the ships and flight dynamics. And I think this is also the one that we're going to get the 2x larger battlegrounds, right? So when we're in Broken Moon or the Dying Star, we're going to have much, much bigger areas, well, not much bigger, twice the area to fly around in. So now that they've doubled the speed, we won't always hear you're approaching the simulation border. So that's something that's definitely going to be fixed in this one. Well, there's a lot in this episode, and there's a lot that's gone on in the last week and a half since I've done my last video. And although it seems like I got confused there for a little bit about the patches and stuff, I'm pretty much up on this stuff, and when I come here and I start reading from my copy, I probably put down the wrong number. That's why I'm coming to this. My show needs somebody out there. Somebody out there. I do this every week, and I spend a long time on it, and I would love to have some involvement from y'all. Whether that be writing me news stories, or it would be helping me with the Twitter and with commenting on the website, commenting on my channel. It's getting big, and I appreciate that, but I want to make it bigger. And to do so means I have to spend a lot of time with production. When you're producing the show and doing 2 shows a week and doing one of them in green screen, let's put it this way, this show takes 10 hours of my day. State of the Game only takes 2 hours of my day. And the Let's Plays take about 30 minutes more than the playtime that I do. This is the show that I have the passion for. And I would love for one of y'all to help me to become a member of the Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous staff. And what kind of work do I need? I need somebody to read through the forums, pick out questions, pick out information, feed me with the correct information so I could talk about it here. I don't have anything to give you right now. It would be on a voluntary basis, but I can guarantee you this, it will not be voluntary forever. You will start to get perks, you will start to get some extras from the game, and hopefully at some point I can split some of the revenue with you. But in the beginning, like I said, it will be volunteer and we'll move up from there. That's why I have Patreon. I'm going to talk about it just one more time here. It's because I want this show to become bigger than it is now. Not bigger for me, but bigger for y'all. And now that I'm asking for more involvement from you, I hope somebody bites and you see that this is just not a Nicole project, it's a community project. With that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. And happy Halloween!